MBCS travels back to the American Midwest to the home of devilish football and homegrown barbecue, and with 2 nails driven into the Chase coffin, the favorites and underdogs have begun to emerge on the plains of the Sunflower State. Hi, hello, and good afternoon, race fans. Welcome to Kansas City, Kansas, and to the Kansas Speedway, as we're here for today's coverage of Race 29 of the 2025 NR2003 Mission Barbecue Cup Series season, the FloRacing Patriot 400. Welcome everybody to today's Intercast on the North American Sim Racing Network. My name is Trey Wright, and 2 races into the 2025 Chase for the Cup, narratives have been erased and rewritten, and the Kansas Speedway is the perfect place to potentially spin them like a tornado and change going into the Denver Double next weekend. Of course, that is then, and this is now. And of course, Thursday marked the 24th anniversary of the September 11th terrorist attacks, as we carry the memory of those 3,000 strong who tragically lost their lives in New York, Washington, D.C., and Western Pennsylvania on that fateful day in 2001. As has become tradition here in the MBCS, we will hold a 3-lap moment of silence between laps 9 and 11 as we remember those we lost 24 years ago. Riley Sampson became the second driver this season to record multiple race wins with his last lap triumph at Greenville-Spartanburg 1 week ago, and it got him right back into the Chase race as we take a look at the Chase standings after race number 2 on the bottom right-hand side of your screen. Back at Greenville-Spartanburg, Riley Sampson and Corey Case finished first and second respectively, while Campbell Marsh and Matthew Hubert fell back late, and Braden Perez was able to salvage a good place in that 92. Campbell Marsh currently holds a 71-point lead over Matthew Hubert coming into Kansas this afternoon. Riley Sampson, Braden Perez, and Corey Case of the 5 aforementioned drivers make up your top 5 in the Chase standings. And the majority of the Chase field starts in the top 20 for today's race. So we take a look at the bottom half of your standings. Angel Gutierrez currently 216 points back of Campbell Marsh. Bradley Ream and Brennan Wilmington fell back as well. But the big loser over this last 2-week stretch in South Carolina was absolutely Esteban Lacer, who after 2 DNFs in that 64 machine, is all the way at the bottom of the barrel, 329 points behind Campbell Marsh coming into Kansas. And like we said, the majority of the Chase field starting inside the top 20 for this afternoon's race. Caleb Rose, Carson Miller, Angel Gutierrez, and Brennan Wilmington looking for their first top 10 finishes in the Chase. They all each start inside the top 10 for those 5 drivers mentioned, while Campbell Marsh starts 40th on the grid, the second deepest Chase driver on the starting lineup here this afternoon, opposed to Bradley Ream, who starts on the inside of row 21 in the 41st starting spot. Kansas is about as racy of a track as you can get in NR 2003. 3 different grooves from top, middle, and bottom, plenty of grip around said grooves, and progressive banking make this track one of the top races on the schedule. It's been a track for both titans of the sport and underdogs. Aiden McCrow and Trey Smith got their first wins in Kansas City, while Madison Tall got the last of her 7 wins on the plains of Kansas. Whatever the case may be, we're going to see one heck of a show this afternoon. The grandstands are packed, the fans are ready to see these drivers turn them loose for race 3 of the Chase, and let's abide by their wishes. Let's go down trackside and get the most famous words in motorsports to kick off the FloRacing Patriot 400.
Drivers, start your engines.
We're certainly in Kansas, Toto, and we're ready to rock and roll for 400 miles in the Sunflower State. Charlie Davenport got his second pole of the season earlier on this afternoon. The driver of the Davenport Family Racing 98 Ford Fusion sits on the pole. Another driver that is looking for their first oval win, the 16 of Danny Fallington, will round out row number 1. Angel Gutierrez and the Colonel, Caleb Rose, in row 2. They are among the 12 Chase drivers looking for good runs here this afternoon. Same thing goes for Carson Miller and the FYE Dodge. The lone entry for O2 Racing, looking for his first top 10 run in the Chase. Last year's regular season champion of Juan Rodriguez will round out the starting 6. There's a look at Bradley Ream, starting deep in the field all the way back in 41st. Campbell Marsh, the Chase points leader, starts deep as well in 40th. 54 laps on the docket here at Kansas. The window is about at the end of stage number 2, like we've typically seen here. The stage is concluding at laps 15 and 30. Taking a look at the Kansas Speedway itself. 4 corners, all progressively banked here at Kansas. 3 previous winners of the FloRacing Patriot 400, Aiden McCrow, Madison Tall, Trey Smith. None of them are on the grid here this afternoon. The Chevy Silverado pace truck will head on to the pit area. Charlie Davenport looking for redemption after Watkins Glen sees the green flag in the air. We're underway in Kansas. And it is not normal to see that outside lane working, but that is exactly what Danny Fallington was able to do. He will take the race lead away from Charlie Davenport here at the conclusion of lap number 1. Davenport still hot on the heels of that 16 machine. Here it goes down to the inside of Fallington. These two door to door for the race lead. Here comes Rose in that 3rd spot. Trying to come up here and take second away from Davenport, who's struggling a little bit on that outside lane. Transitions back down low. Rose, who has been in the running for quite a few of these races here at Kansas in the past. Still trying to get that mojo working in car number 32. We take a look at the tail end of the field. Alex Lozano did not get the best of start jumps in that 11 machine. They're 3 wide off the corner in front of him. We'll go in the middle, trying to split the gap between the 75 and the 47. He's still in the middle of a brisk 3 wide. Corey Case also back in here. Bruno Diacomo, who had the slowest qualifying run by 4 seconds. Right now in the back as well. And both Matthew Hubert and Campbell Marsh towards the tail end of the field as well. Same thing with Riley Sampson. If these guys up in the front can keep their nose clean, should have a decent shot to potentially get up here and lead a couple of laps and potentially have a good run here in chase race number 3. But it's Charlie Davenport showing the way. Alexander right behind him in that 58 car, 5 laps ran. And Rose right now behind Carson Miller. 3 wide back in here. The outside pole sitter is a couple of blue and black cars nearly colliding with one another. In fact, you've got 5 blue and black cars all in the same frame. How about that? As Esteban Lacer is right behind this black and blue brigade, trying to get his first top 30 run of the chase. It has not been the start to the chase that you would want if you're Esteban Lacer. He currently sits all the way deep in the chase field in 11th, 329 points back of Campbell Marsh. We've seen Lacer defy the odds before. He right now in a pretty good spot. Potentially get a good top 10 run out of today. Of course, he does have a little bit of ground to make up as he'll get a position there underneath of Alex Sanvitale. That's the battle for 12th that just came and went. Sanvitale falling back on the outside lane. And at the front, a little bit of a 3-car breakaway for this top spot is Charlie Davenport showing the way. Dominating the race at Watkins Glen. We'll come around here off turns 3 and 4. We'll begin our 3-lap moment of silence for the victims of the September 11th terrorist attacks 24 years ago. Toby Murphy with a good run to the inside of Davenport here on lap number 12. Your Boston winner down to the inside of that 98 Ford. He will go to the race lead looking for his second win of the season. Hamilton, New Jersey native and last year's champion did not make the chase. Got their first win of their career at Boston during the Duncan Week of Speed, and right now looking for win number 2. And we got a big Hornet's Nest back in here. Logan Alexander, as well as the 8 of Carson Miller, trying to make some headway as Miller jumped out of the groove there, but was able to recover that dodge. He's on the outside of that 58 car. With 2 laps to go here in stage number 1, and already the fight is on here for a lot of these stage points. Danny Fallington trying to get some stage points. Same thing with Caleb Rose and 2 other fellow chasers, one of them being Rose's teammate. We've got a lot of chase cars marked with their orange highlights back in here. All the way up the racetrack goes Skylar Taylor. Might be 3 wide going down the back straightaway here for the final time in stage 1. Right now, another counterattack being set up by Charlie Davenport. He is going to get a good draft down this front straightaway on the back end of Murphy. Final lap here in stage number 1. Davenport just trying to get a little bit of a ledge on the bottom of that 20 car. He might get this stage 1 win here as Carson Miller looking to fend off Keegan Thompson for that 3rd spot. Here we are off of turns 3 and 4. Down to the inside goes Davenport. Not going to be in time. Toby Murphy will win stage number 1 here at Kansas. I believe back in here, Ryan Durrani may have got that last stage point. Once timing and scoring will update, we'll show you as we got 3 wide up in here, down to the inside, going 2/3 of the Pacific Racing Camp. It's Logan Alexander that got that last chase point, or that last stage point, I should say. Angel Gutierrez just getting in. On the outside looking in, we're Brennan Wilmington. Esteban Lacer was able to get a stage point as well. Right now, it has been a 2-car show for this top spot so far over these last couple of laps as we've begun stage number 2. And Murphy and Davenport showing why they're the class of the field right now. Keegan Thompson looking for that second win of the season as well. And Riley Sampson was the one last week that opened the floodgates for multi-time winners. And again, with the amount of parity we have seen so far this season, as Davenport thought about going underneath the 20 car coming down to the back straightaway. The amount of parity we have seen here in 2025, it's incredible, but it's not surprising that we only have 2 multi-time winners here this season. Bradley Ream with 3 wins, and up until last week, he was the only driver to have multiple wins. He had that wild card spot locked up by the time we got to Armory Digital. And hey, Riley Sampson was the first one. He had to do that on the last lap pass. Because I think if he was, both Rogel Dorn and Dylan Matthews had wins prior to the race at Greenville-Spartanburg last week. Of course, Dorn winning at Vancouver, and Dylan Matthews was your Daytona 500 champion. Both those drivers had wins beforehand. They were able, or not able rather, to get the win at Greenville-Spartanburg. Riley Sampson was able to get a last lap pass. Sampson currently in the middle of the field. That was, I'm not sure if you guys saw that on the monitors. The field was going into the track for a brief moment. Alex Lozano has dropped back to 41st this last time by. That 11 Camry still very deep in the field. Same thing with his Broke Boys Garage teammate and your Darlington winner from 2 weeks ago, Thomas Troxel. They've not been able to get the setup to go. Campbell Marsh continues to be towards the tail end of the field. Actually, he's made his way towards about the 75% mark, about the 3/4 of the way mark, so he's not right at the tail end. The same thing goes for Matthew Hubert, who's also towards the back end of the field. 3 wide going down to the back straightaway between Durrani, Wolf, and Alexander. Dorn right in the middle of that mess as well, but they'll figure things out. And hey, that'll be a couple free positions for Campbell Marsh to get here. Both Ream and Sampson have found their way inside the top 10 or the top 20. Right now, Sampson one position away from being inside the top 15, and given that he started this race in the back end of the field, started all the way back. Rather, Riley Sampson started in 14th, so he was starting on the outside lane, which wasn't ideal in the first place. So he's just now just trying to get back up in here, potentially getting stage points here in a couple of moments. But again, we're going to see these guys come down the pit lane around the end of stage 2. And like we've seen, some drivers will stay out trying to flip the stage, others will come down trying to get that race win. If I'm a guy like Caleb Rose, I'm trying to get as many stage points as I can get here, so I am staying out. It's running pretty well in that number 32 car all the way up to 3rd. And Pacific Racing, right now, all of their cars inside the top 10. It's Brendan Wilmington's crew. Of course, has been the most consistent team this season. They lead the owners' points by a wide margin. They've only been able to get one win this season. Again, that shows the amount of parity we've got. Most dominant team here in the Mission Barbecue Cup Series in terms of consistency. All three of their drivers are in the chase. The highest running driver in the chase right now, Braden Perez, in 4th. Coming into this race was 180 points back of Riley Sampson. He's going to cut into that race lead the way things stand right now, with Sampson, who was dropped back a little bit since the last time we talked to him. He's currently now fighting to stay inside the top 20. Carson Miller has also brought his way in here. So right now, the way things track, it'll be a good day for Pacific Racing. But again, we are just past the midway point through this race this last time by. After this set of pit stops, like we saw at Darlington, green flag pit stops can really shake things up. Caleb Rose trying to shake things up here on the grid. Coming around to 3 to go in stage 2. He'll dive to the inside of Charlie Davenport. Has led the most laps today, and he nearly got into the left rear quarter panel of that 98 car. He's there, door to door, and we're going to have 2x2 racing here. The top 4 coming around the final lap here, rather 2 to go in stage number 2. And does anybody come down the pit lane this time by? Doesn't look like anybody will sacrifice the stage points. Caleb Rose going to the race lead. Davenport falling all the way back on the outside lane. Now Rose just trying to get not only 10 bonus points, he's also trying to get an additional bonus point for winning a stage, but he's not going to get it. Caleb Rose is going to sacrifice the stage points to come down the pit lane. Same thing with Esteban Lacer, Riley Sampson. In fact, all the Pacific Racing cars are going to come down the pit lane here. Same thing with Sampson, Marsh, Corey Case is down, Carson Miller too. And on the final lap of stage number 2, I believe this is going to go to Charlie Davenport. No, Davenport is going to come down this time by. Same thing with Keegan Thompson. Does anybody else try and stay out here to get that stage win? Zachary Fitzwater will stay out to win stage number 2. He will track across the start-finish line, and he will be the only car to stay out. So right at the end of stage number 2, Zachary Fitzwater, the only one to stay out, and the back end of the field will come down. We're going to have to see who will all be with everybody else here on lap 31. Once timing and scoring will cycle down. There is Zachary Fitzwater, who gains 10 bonus points for winning a stage. I believe this will cycle out here in just a moment. Once we get to lap 32, we'll show the stage results with everybody, but for the actual race here, we got under 15 laps to go. As the race off the pit lane, and Caleb Rose will go to the race lead. Now about the jump for Esteban Lasser as well. He will go up to third. It's Charlie Davenport trying to get up there and take that race lead away from Caleb Rose in car number 32. Matthew Hubert got shuffled back in the process. Did anybody else get shuffled in the back? Same thing I believe Brenna Wilmington did as well. I tell you guys what, that has not been the story of the season. We saw it at Darlington. We just saw it here. Brenna Wilmington has had no luck in this chase. His other two cars have fared fairly well, and Wilmington, who was running just outside of the top 10 when he came down the pit lane, a slow pit stop for car 62, and he falls all the way down to 30th on the pylon. And his chances at being in contention for this championship might end after only 3 races. Riley Sampson fell back with Angel Gutierrez. Angel Gutierrez fell back with Riley Sampson, I believe. I believe Campbell Marsh is going to leapfrog his way all the way up inside the top 10. And Marsh is just Toby Murphy from last year on steroids. It all started with that Duncan Week of Speed win for Marsh, and he has not looked back since. Won the regular season championship, and he has just been able to find a way to get inside the top 10. He doesn't have a win yet. He is a rookie and is still winless in his Mission Barbecue Cup Series career. It does not matter. That expansion for Titan Fury Racing for Igor Barreto's team has been probably the most consistent car on the grid. Does have a couple of DNFs on the season, I believe, but here he is with another top 10 run, currently running in 9th. We're going to see what this kid can do here. With under 20 laps to go, but Caleb Rose, the race leader. Esteban Lasser in second. And how about this? Alex Sanvitale has been able to find himself up to third. Sanvitale, a lot like Toby Murphy last year. Again, those two rookies duking it out for this championship. Sanvitale still does not have a win under his belt. Doesn't have a win on the North American Sim Racing Network in its entirety, in fact. But the owner of Ag Ice Racing has seen Corey Case go to victory lane twice. He wants a little shot of that glory. A nice train building up in here. You got 3 Fords and a Toyota up in line, trying to catch up to another Toyota. The Chevrolets have really fallen off back in here. The first Chevy in line, Keegan Thompson, right now running in 12th. He tries to track down for a top 10 run. Campbell Marsh under fire from car number 8 of Carson Miller. But everybody else, they're catching up to Caleb Rose. They are there. And Alex Sanvitale will go to second. He'll go to the point in this little mini pack. And they are closing up to the Colonel. Caleb Rose, your Papyrus winner, not your Watkins Glen winner. Watkins Glen winner was Matthew Hubert all the way in the back. He has fallen back like a rock in car number 23. There he is. Something happened to Hubert. I'm not sure if he got in the outside wall or had to make an additional pit stop, but he is way off the pace. He is the first car in line to be put a lap down. And that is going to put a huge dent into Huber's chase ambitions. But again, we got 6 races remaining after this race here. We got 7 races remaining here after chase race number 3. So a lot of action, a lot of miles still to be completed. And Caleb Rose is hoping that these last 14 laps trickle by fast, because he has got a rear view mirror full of Alex Sanvitale. He has crept his way all the way to the back end of that Tide ride. It's right on the back end of that Tide Camry. Charlie Davenport also back up in the fray as everybody catching back up to the rear end of car number 32. right now. Fastest lap along in a Reggie Fogelman, a 27.128 second lap, but with 13 laps to go. This is the battle for the race win up in here. We haven't had a caution yet in this race, which is pretty odd for Kansas. Of course, now that I said that, something stupid is going to happen, like it always does here in the Mission Barbecue Cup Series. But 4 cars all in line, 12 to go here from Kansas. All these guys hungry for wins. You got 2 chasers, and sandwiched in between the 2, you got 2 drivers that have never won on an oval. Davenport with 3 wins to his career. Sam Vitale with no wins. We saw with Trey Smith last year finally getting his first win of his career. Can Sam Vitale become the 3rd first-time winner to win in Kansas? He goes to the race lead with 11 to go. Esteban Lasser will go with him. Up the racetrack goes Rose. Davenport will shunt that number 98 car down to the inside. He turns left, as Rick Allen once said. And Caleb Rose is likely going to fall to the tail end of this little mini pack, along with a Pacific Racing teammate of Braden Perez. He's looking to try and chip into Matthew Hubert and Riley Sampson's lead. Campbell stuck on the outside lane. He has fallen outside of the top 10. He might fall outside of the top 20 before this is all said and done. 10 laps to go from Kansas. Can Alex Sam Vitale hold on? But Charlie Davenport has been a man on a mission, started on the pole, and is trying to win from said starting position. How about Logan Williams? It has been an eerily quiet season for Williams. He is one of the few drivers that does not have a win this season. He is going to go to 3rd, dumped a lot of air on the deck lid of that 64 car. Shot to the 64 of Lasser up the racetrack in turns 1 and 2, and going to 3rd is Logan Williams. Again, we show the amount of racing we have got here at the Kansas Speedway, and it's a really good showcase of it now. Now it's a race between these 3 chase drivers, trying to be the highest finishing chaser on the grid. Caleb Rose right now shows that way. Perez behind him. Marsh right now continuing to hemorrhage spots in the 31. Trying to look on the pylon, and he has lost a lot of time in that 31 machine. Has fallen all the way back to 21st. It's not going to be enough for some of these guys to try and overtake him in the chase standings, although Braden Perez is 180 points back of Marsh. The way things stand right now, that would be a significant dent into that lead if Perez is able to hold on to where he is right now. But hey, even though it's the chase, the storyline right here in Kansas City, Kansas, 3 drivers looking for their first wins of the season. One of them looking for their first ever win. That's the driver of that Grand Blue Fantasy Toyota Camry. Alex Sam Vitale leads, 6 to go. Can the second pack close back up? You got Juan Rodriguez. Like we said at the top of the show, last year's regular season champion nearly bumper grabbed the 32 car. 5 laps to go from Kansas, and Logan Williams knows the time is now. Trying to get down to the inside. Here comes Davenport. Trying to turn left underneath that 96 car, not able to get down there in time. Davenport had a ledge there, but did not have a good apex through 3 and 4. 4 laps to go. Alex Sam Vitale trying to run this next couple miles and a half at a feverish pace, trying to get the next 6 miles done with ease. And Caleb Rose saying, I'm not done yet. He's going to try and go for 3rd underneath the 17. Not able to quite track in there just yet. Sam Vitale opening up a 4-car length lead over the 98 of Davenport. 3 laps to go from the Kansas Speedway. And Rose, now he's got to ledge to the inside of Williams. Logan Williams will go to the outside. That'll be the end of his bid for the race win. Caleb Rose, good run on the back end of Davenport. There'll be 2 laps to go this time around. And Sam Vitale is not out of the woods just yet. Sticks high in the air. 3 miles to go from the Kansas Speedway. Can Davenport and Rose get up there in time? Rose is going to go to the inside. Davenport saying, I'm not going to try and help you get to the front. I'm worried about getting every point that I can muster. And that might be all San Vitale needed. Matthew Hubert in front by about 40 car lengths, so he is out of the way and out of mind. Off turns 3 and 4 for the penultimate time. White flag is out. Final time here at the Kansas Speedway. Alex San Vitale trying to get his first win. Davenport trying not to get another second place finish here this season. Started on pole, but it looks like he's going to finish one position short. It's going to been a long time coming for the Fosieca Italian native. Coming off turns 3 and 4, Alex San Vitale is a winner in the Mission Barbecue Cup Series. He wins at Kansas. What a day for Ag Ice Racing, getting the job done here at the Kansas Speedway. Another caution-free race, our first of the chase, and that was a beauty of a race here in Kansas. Alex San Vitale with the race lead and the race win. Wins it by 3/10 over Charlie Davenport. Caleb Rose will finish in third. Braden Perez fourth, and Esteban Lacer will finally get a top 10 run in this chase for the Cup. He finishes in fifth. So we take a look at the standings. Like we said, your top 5. Juan Rodriguez rounds out the top 6. Logan Williams fell back to 7th. Zachary Fitzwater, your stage 2 winner, ends up in 8th. Toby Murphy 9th, and a top 10 run for Angel Gutierrez. He's able to keep his chase for the Cup hopes alive in that 28 machine. Carson Miller finished in 13th. Corey Case 14th. So dual top 15 finishes for Ag Ice Motorsports. Campbell Marsh was able to salvage 17th. So Perez will close in on that chase on that point by about maybe 75 points. So Marsh will remain in the chase lead going into the Casa Bonita Denver double. Riley Sampson finished right on the heels of Campbell Marsh, so he'll lose a little bit of ground to the 31 car. Brennan Wilmington able to salvage 25th, but he is going to continue to fall back in that 62 car. And Bradley Ream finishes 26th, going all the way down. Matthew Hubert 42nd, last on the pylon. Alex Lozano was 31st. I believe that should track for all of the chase drivers. Doing one more sweep, and I believe that will do it here for the chase drivers. But what a race here. Once again, at the Kansas Speedway, another caution-free affair. Another very, very quick race here in the North American Sim Racing Network and on the Mission Barbecue Cup Series circuit at that. Alex San Vitale, the Italian stallion, will finally get his first win here on the North American Sim Racing Network. Again, that's been a long time coming, and I'm glad to see both of the fighting racers from 2024 in Toby Murphy and Alex San Vitale able to get their first career wins here on the North American Sim Racing Network and on the Mission Barbecue Cup Series circuit as well. And one heck of a race here at Kansas, like we are used to seeing here in the Mission Barbecue Cup Series. But that's going to do it from the Kansas Speedway. Congratulations once again to Alex San Vitale for winning the FloRacing Patriot 400. Next week, we'll be in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado for a pair of races outside of Denver and Aurora. Chase races 4 and 5 from the Denver Motorsports Park. Coming at you next weekend for the Casa Bonita Denver Double, right here on the NASRN. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, ladies and gentlemen. Here are your point standings in Chase Grid after race 29 of the 2025 MBCS season, and from Kansas City, Kansas. On behalf of the North American Sim Racing Network, my name is Trey Wright. Have a great evening, folks. We'll see you next week in Denver for the Casa Bonita Denver Double.